All right. And we are live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Get started. Do it. Hope you all good looking sex people are doing well out in Happy Land tonight. Whoever you are, wherever you are, and whenever you may be receiving this transmission, welcome one and all. Ladies and gentlemen, and everyone watching. I'm your host for the hour, Grand Wizard of the Esoteric Order of Dagon, your friend and well-wisher, Frank Monday. Broadcasting to you live from the Central Kingdom of the Celestial Dragon, Twilight Zone, Old Peking, far behind the bamboo firewall. Welcome, Wizard, Warrior, Wanderer, Wayfarer, and Wildcatalite. So yeah, I had set this transmission for seems like 2 days ago now, but I couldn't get around to doing it, man. I don't know what happened. You know, life happened. Everything in life got involved. It was right after it was during the Chinese New Year, in fact. And I thought I was going to have some free time. I was studying the material and thought it would be fun to cover it with you guys here in Happy Land. But life got the better of me. And it's how it goes sometimes. But I'm here with you now. And I'm excited to present this information about the Ansairetic. How do you even say that word? What does that word even mean? Let's find out together. Well, the Ansairetic mysteries. What's that all about? Good looking out. Y'all good looking sex people. If anybody wants to join the show, let me know. Check me out on buymeacoffee.com/Frank Monday. Put a little something in the tip jar. That'll put the lead in my pencil. The pep in my step. The jelly in my donut. Everything good in life, guys, comes from a nice, hot, black cup of damn fine coffee. Oh, yeah. Nothing wrong with that. Let's get started with the prayer. Join me in a moment of prayer, if you would. Holy art thou, Lord of the universe, the vast and the mighty one, creator of heaven and earth, maker of all things visible and invisible, master of both the light and the darkness, he who was, is, and shall be. We adore thee and we invoke thee. Send us one of your divine spiritual agents, our holy guardian angel, to protect and guide us through the innumerable snares of the earthly sphere, and a cleansing wind to disperse all negativity and endless human opinion. Teach us those things which we must know for the completion of the great work and the glory of thine ineffable name. So it is commanded and confirmed. So mote it be. Amen. All right. Good magic. Good looking out, everyone. I do see that some people have cruised by. Make sure you hit the thumbs up if you would, guys. They say that you know what the old YouTubers say. They say that really helps out the channel. And I don't know if it works or not, but do it anyway, right? It's a small thing to hit the like button. It's a small thing to subscribe. It's just a simple click of a button. Not even a real button, right? Like a cyber virtual button. Just go ahead and hit it. Sal Smith says, hope all is well, Frankie boy. Yeah, doing good, Sal. Doing good. Everything's going really good, man. I got caught up in life. I didn't forget about my transmission, but other things got in the way. You know how that goes. I'm sure you do anyway. I'm sure you know how that goes. This is not letting me open my my feedback loop here on the YouTubes. Hey, free gift from God's in the house. Good to see you, man. Hope you're doing all right, amigo. Today we're getting into the Ansairetic Arcanum, the mystery of sex in relation to the occult. Gonna be talking a little bit about that old Kundalini energy, right? That lust for life, as Aleister Crowley called it. Crowley called it the lust for life. Have we got good audio quality today? I don't know. I'm trying to check the thing here on YouTube, and it's not even showing that. Maybe because I left it so long. And didn't check my I probably because I scheduled it and then I didn't do it. So now it's punishing me. It's been hanging out in the abodes of the aether. Wow, there's a lot going on the internet right now. A lot of people live streaming. That's good fun, man. It's good magic. I like to do it. I like to hang out with y'all, see what's going on out in Happy Land. We covered the Lesser Banishing Ritual of the Pentagram last time. And I realized something in reviewing my video. Like going over a ritual piece by piece, it's not something that really lends itself well to like a live presentation. It's more meant as a private, mindful thing that you do behind the scenes. And that's where it's most effective. But like as a discussion piece, it just didn't seem to lend itself well. Maybe it does. Maybe I'm wrong. All right, so I put the I went ahead and I put the link in the in what I call Happy Land, the ideas room. So if you'd like to join and chat a little bit, Sal Smith, free gift from God, whoever's out there in Happy Land, anyone and everyone watching, I'm ready to get into brass tacks. So I'm going to go ahead and open this file for you guys. Let me see where it's at first. Make sure I don't have anything funny showing. The monk. Where'd I put it, man? I had it all lined up here a moment ago, right before I went live. And now it has disappeared into the abodes of the aether. Why'd it disappear on me? What'd I do with it? Where did I put it? Okay, it's not there. I don't see it there. I don't see it there. I don't. Do I see it here? I don't see it here. Is it here? No, it's not there either. Is it here? Maybe it's here. Yeah, this is where it's at. This is where it's at, my friends. Let's see where we wanna start with this today. All right, yeah, we'll start here. This looks good. Now let's move this so that it's in line with where we want to be. Looking good. Looking good, amigo. Looking good. Looking real good. Yo, good looking sexy people out there in Happy Land tonight. Let's see what time it is. Shout out to everyone east of the Rockies. Looks like it is pushing into the abodes of evening for you guys. almost midnight or midnight plus on the East Coast. Memphis, Tennessee's coming in at 11:47 p.m. Los Angeles, California, 9:47 p.m. Four Corners, Denver, Colorado, 10:47 p.m. So yeah, it's the abodes of evening for you guys. Hail unto thee who art tum in thy setting, even unto thee who art tum in thy mystery. No, who's the evening one? I forget. That's not tum. Tum is the setting of the sun. Yeah, I'm gonna expose my ignorance. I know who it is. I just can't think of it right off the top of my head. Not to worry though. That's not what I'm up to today, man. I'll show you guys what I'm up to today. We're getting into some sex. Frank Monday on the radio, coming in stereo, putting on a real good show. It's Frank Monday on the radio. Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the wonderful things that it can be. Let's talk about sex. All right. Yeah, so in the esoteric order of Dagon, the first knowledge lecture is about the 3 deceptions that were pulled over the eyes of man. The first is the cosmic deception. The idea that you're a monkey man, that you rose up from chimpanzees, right? And that the world is something that it's not. Yeah, that's the first great deception. The cosmic deception. The second great deception is the deception of sex. It's the sacrifice, the destruction of the divine feminine, the war of the sexes, the false dichotomy, the first great false dichotomy. And then the third great deception, I think you know what it is if you've been paying attention. But today we're focused on that second of all great deceptions, the one that puts man and woman at war when they shouldn't be. They should be in harmony. Guys, I'm going to keep the link up there in the window. So if you want to join in, just type that into your browser and that'll give you a direct open line to Frank Monday. But I will be stepping out of the chat to do some reading. So if you're there, just let me know. I'll come back every so often. I'll come back every so often and check the ideas room to see if y'all good-looking sexy people are still doing all right out in Happy Land tonight. The Mystery of Isis. Grade 1, 3rd degree. This is what we're covering. The Hermetic Brotherhood of Luxor. Oh, neophyte. Let's get back to the beginning of this one, oh neophyte. And together, we shall go through it. Lots of fun stuff going on in this one, guys. Very importante. Let's leave off with that second note from the last chapter, chapter 5. The neophyte struggling for initiation must not think. We mean the physical, carnal contact with his or her kindred mate. No, this is not at all necessary for initiation. What we mean here, or what they meant here in the Order of Dagon, is that those souls must meet and blend somewhere within the spaces of Aether. Within that non-Euclidean geometry. Thought I heard someone chiming in. Yeah, King of Monkeys is here. Good to see you, King of Monkeys. Hope you're doing all right tonight. Greetings and salutation. Welcome. He who art the King of Monkeys. Hail unto thee who art the Monkey Man. Greetings, Monkey. Buki Killer 666, founder of Hell and Gambling. Good to see you, amigo. I hope you're doing well. What's going on out there in Happy Land tonight? King of Monkeys, we're talking about the Ansairetic mysteries. So, the idea here is that you don't actually have to engage in sexual contact with your mate, but that you need to meet them beyond the prime material plane and on the plane of aether, right? The astral plane is part of it, the etheric plane. There must be a spiritual union. This often takes place unconsciously when the body is sound asleep, and of which all recollection generally vanishes upon reawakening. So that's an interesting aspect of this. Once this union has been found, however, its power is never again lost. Though hell itself at present divides, they must ultimately become again united. So we're talking about a spiritual union, right? The alchemical wedding of Christian Rosenkreuz. And I'm double checking to see if King of Monkey ever made it back up. I saw you out there in Happy Land, King of Monkeys, chiming in. This is kind of an important thing here. Let's go ahead and get a good look at it. It's in a PDF, so you guys know how the PDFs go. You're not allowed to copy those. Don't be copying my PDF, baby. All right, let me type it in here. See if I can't. Not sure how much of that will come through. It might come through in 2 broken parts. Yeah, there you go. 3. Wow. The neophyte. Let's see here. Pop this back up. The neophyte struggling for initiation must not think that what is meant here, right, is the physical carnal contact. But the physical carnal contact isn't necessary at all for initiation. What is meant here is that their spiritual forces meet and blend on those non-Euclidean dimensions that are the spaces in between. This is a spiritual union and takes place oftentimes unconsciously when you're sound asleep and when recollection of it generally vanishes upon reawakening. So that's something to consider there, right? When you pursue one of these spiritual unions with a high priestess or a magician, whether you be man or woman, then it occurs on an other than physical plane, and the recollection of is mostly forgotten. However, with practice, much will be remembered from those types of unions. And so, fear not, O neophyte. There is much to learn. And we're going to take it step by step as we meander down through here into Chapter 6. The majority of students who commence investigating the forbidden realms of our sacred lore desire to attain mystic powers without treading along its own royal road. They thirst for the grand mental force, which will enable them to scan the sublime mysteries and sweep through the vast realms of sidereal and spheral spaces. Sidereal, and spheral spaces. But they are impatient of the methods. There you go. Something to be said here. Something to be said here. So, if we take the analogy from Chinese Kung Fu, then we could see that each method has to be actualized. And actualizing a method takes some time. It takes some patience. It takes some repetition, some reflection in order to make it your own. According to the ancient axiom of Chinese Kung Fu, it takes 10,000 repetitions of a single method in order to master it and figure out all of its subtlety and nuance, and then be able to start to really reduce it down to a powerful thing that you can utilize at any time, like the level of mastery. So when you first start learning about a new method, we go through a 4-stage process. I'll show it to you guys here. I wrote it out in the banners section somewhere. Let me try to pull it up. Where's it at? Banners. There we go. So the knowledge acquisition and mastery of skills, it takes time, right? So mastery is the desired result. But you have to go through this 4-stage process. You become aware of these teachings. You learn to recognize them and say, hey, I've seen that before. I'm aware of this. I can do this method. And then you acquire knowledge and understanding of the method. This is where you're really practicing now. You move from neophyte to zealator to theoricus. What I used to call theoreticus, because I misencoded it in the very beginning. And then adeptus. So these are the 4 grades. Pastophorus, Illuminatus, this type of thing, right? Neophyte, zealator, theoricus, and finally adeptus, or master magician. So this is the general process that you have to move through. Now, it says the majority of the students with their great thirst aren't willing to walk along the royal road. They thirst for the grand mental force, which will enable them to arrive at this power, and are impatient of the methods. They're not willing to put in the thousands and thousands of hours that are required to master these things. Now, again, Master Nee told me, he said, some people can realize it in 30 seconds. Other people, it's going to take them 30 years. And still there are others who, even after 30 lifetimes, will never be able to perceive the mystery. So don't be in a hurry to rush through the neophyte grade. In fact, me, after 40 years now of striving, I still consider myself to be at the neophyte grade, which, you know, I've risen up to various intermediate and even advanced levels. But each time I go through this process, I start from the basics. And here's where the basics begin: the methods. Now let all whom it may concern know once and for all that the doors are forever closed against all save the strictly obedient, and the effort to prematurely obtain mental intensity need never be attempted. Neither need efforts be made to attain any power, force, or state unless the law, its law, be scrupulously observed, because no real magician or magnetic power can or will be evolved from its central embryonic germ state within the soul, except in the mighty movement with the odalic spaces caused by the soul union of both. Remember that as harmony is absolutely requisite for birth, so is discord the chief factor of death. Not by one alone can these potentialities be evolved. So it's interesting to think that so many people, and this is a great error that I should point out at this point, is that so many people are under the misconception that death will bring them closer to union with God, or that there will be some great release or revelation at the time of death. It's not true, sadly. You're going to be right where you left off when you die. That's the size of it. So this great work that we're engaged in, Carpe Diem, needs to be done now. You need to wake up your spiritual faculties. You need to receive communion and conversation with your holy guardian angel. And you need to start getting this work done now. You don't necessarily have to be impatient, but you absolutely need to be in a hurry each and every day to engage in your magical operations. Because there is no time like the present. The time is now. Don't wait for the lifting of the veil at the time of death, because it might not necessarily happen for you. Here's the thing, guys. Wherever you go, there you are. And whatever power you've achieved is the power you've achieved, and it's going to be true even when you're dead. So if your spiritual eyes aren't open and you haven't received conversation and communion with your holy guardian angel, if you're not empowered with the Holy Spirit, as it were, at the time of death, you run the real risk of death, of an almost kind of permanent dissolution of your being, if you don't save anything up. You're like a gambler in a casino that keeps hedging your bets and gets in great debt, and then at the time of death think that salvation will arrive. It won't. Sorry to say, guys, it won't. Death isn't going to save you from yourself. When the music of the soul reverberates through the worlds of aether, the dual union of two harmonious natures cause the requisite symphony of the soul to penetrate the interior of the celestial heavens. Then, and then only, do the doors of the sacred sanctuary open and admit the seekers within. The adiatum of the Holy of Holies, the eternal spark within us, never flashes except when the pure, loving female brings to her feet the noble, loving man, not in their animal lusts, but in their soul mutual infiltration of soul, in the sexive death of both. Billions of aeons ago, far away in the dim, silent vistas of the past, woman proved herself the weakest portion of the dual soul. In that awful, intense moment, their mutual demise was created by Allah. Material incarnation resulted, and thenceforward, spirit binds its human body only when the pure sexual union of the soul opens the mystic door of the spaces for it to re-enter through the woman's faithful heart. The true perfected man, through man, the woman, through her, the world, and through them, the spaces of celestial life. Through these deity itself, not as a drop or an atom in the infinite ocean of mind, but as a being in the heavenly hierarchies of the universal soul. There it is there, guys. Highest levels of sex magic. And so the big question becomes, wait, it's not responding. Hold on, guys. There we go. There it is there. There it is there. There it is there. Wow, we got low responsive levels on the internet today, man. Wonder what's going on. Are we even still connected? Let me double check and see if it'll load up on YouTube on my phone for me. Interesting. I'm not sure why it won't load up onto my phone, but it does look like a lot of folks are live right now. Axis Rat Blood out there in Happy Land, he's live with Rat Blood Radio. Nachiket is live with Under a Watchful Eye. Good Magic. The Rotten Tomato is live. Critical Role is live. Rez is live. So a lot of choices out there right now. Looks like the Powder Dusty or Flow State might be live. I guess everyone kind of goes live at the same time, huh? That's good. That's good. I'm happy to see that. And they have a better internet connection than I do, so good magic, you know. Make sure that you guys tune in. Portland Andy's live as well. Make sure you guys go check them out. I like to get a panel chat going, man. If anybody out there in Happy Land wants to chime in, that's the way to get it done, man. That's where the real magic is happening. Wasn't it the great Christ that said, when two or more are gathered in my name, I am there. It's all right. Frank Monday's going at it alone tonight with his bad internet from behind the bamboo firewall. And for some reason, I can't even connect to my transmission, which is kind of a bummer. It's not letting me do it. Yeah. So I'm going to figure this out, man. And have myself a cup of coffee. Middle of the hour, so I'll go ahead and do the channel blurb. This is Frank Monday Radio, coming at you live from the Central Kingdom of the Celestial Dragon, Grand Wizard of the Esoteric Order of Dagon, your friend and well-wisher. reminding you to hit the likes and subscribe. That'll keep them barking like Pavlov's dog. Check me out on buymeacoffee.com/Frank Monday. We're on the drive to reach 1,000 subs, guys. We're at 750 right now. Just 250 more subs to go. So sub a friend, hell, sub your grandma. She will appreciate it. As always, the lines are open for your paranormal encounters. If and when you've experienced anything paranormal out there in Happy Land, bring me your story. Let me know what it's all about. Looks like we might have a visitor in Happy Land, a James Jameson. Welcome to the show, James Jameson. Let me get right with you in a moment. We are discussing the Ansairetic Arcanum, the mysteries of sex union. We left off with what doctrines follow this grand sequence in the harmonies of nature's immutable law. Why, first, it teaches that every aspirant to this immortal birthright should never forget his fealty to woman, but remember who and what she really is, the gem of the Creator's blazing crown. There you have it there. I cannot see you, James Jameson. I can't see your comment. So could you, let's see, I can't even see the private chat. Yeah, my internet is not functioning 100% correct. So give me a second to deal with the lag really quick. Boop. Remove that. Do this. Give this a try. And there it is there. See if that'll work. Greetings and salutations, James. How are you? Sounds like, all right. Sounds like James has his microphone in his pocket. So not sure what's going on there. Let me know if you're able to correct your sound issues, James. I'm a little bit wary of folks causing trouble. I'll try it one more time. I'm gonna give you a second opportunity here, James, and let me see if it's any better. James, hello. Is your microphone okay? No. Okay. Yeah. So sadly, James, microphone isn't working. James, authenticated by YouTube. Oh, it says authenticated by Facebook. That was Michael Smith, guys. The guy who goes by Queen Stephanie of Team Evil, the leader of Team Evil and the Insanity Machine. So yeah, we have no place here for that old Queen Stephanie lying about your name again, huh? It's like can't get it right. That's okay. Not to worry. So Queen Stephanie doesn't have anything of value to offer. She is she is what she is, right? She's not a real woman, that's for sure. So the first principle that we're looking at here is that man has the immortal birthright of fealty to woman, but remember who and what she really is, the gem of the Creator's blazing crown, right? So this is directing our attention to the top of the Hermetic tree of life, the supernal triad, right? The Trinity, God the Father, God the Mother, and then the divine child. Second principle here is that The grosser man should ever be considerate and gentle to and with woman, never rude, fierce, and brutal, never impatient of her failure or inability to respond to his passional desire. So the second principle is important to keep in mind as well, right? Because this happens quite a bit. Um, Women have a tendency, just like man, to fail or be unable to respond. And as a result, you still have to be gentle to and with. Constantly remember that it is the feminine portion of the spirit of Lone that contains the potential germs of all true greatness, that the coy, angelic Isis of the soul will quickly resent any violation of her virginal rights. The revolving cycle of necessity, however, is not undertaken by the deification of life to evolve attributes of these purely feminine qualities, for it possessed them in their celestial perfection and virginal purity in the interior heavens of the embryonic soul world, the Garden of Eden. There you have it there. So that is a definitive. Oh, we got internet lag, guys. Let me make sure it's gonna stay connected. If not, that's okay. I'll come back and reboot on the other side because it does look like we've got some trouble from the bamboo firewall, as it were. All right, looked like it might have cleared up. Good. All right. No. Still a little bit of chaos there. That's okay. Just roll with the punches. All right. Keep your nose to the grindstone. Don't let them take the jelly out of your donut. All right. So what's the takeaway here? What do we garner from this? Number one, that this mystery of the Garden of Eden is that place where we all dwell in the embryonic phase of life. We arise from the one pure intention of the Heavenly Father and are created through this kind of Big Bang action of the holy union of man and woman. Now, if this is done from a place of love, then you're born into a physical body with the golden ratio, right? You've got no real problems. If there's any type of deviation in the man or woman's heart at the time of conception, then there's bound to be problems. That's okay. Just because you begin from a place where there are some problems and you don't have necessarily perfection in the golden ratio, you're not born on the bowel of compassion, as it were, you still have an opportunity for spiritual cultivation. What a wonderful thing, right? Even the monkey men can raise themselves up out of the dirt. The problem is some of these folks who are born from these discordant, inharmonious relationships between man and woman, and then not raised in a loving family, they got a lot of problems. And then they try to perpetuate the cycle of hardship, not only on themselves, but on other beings as well. And then they don't strive for spiritual cultivation. They just strive to satisfy their animalistic nature. So, not much good can come of that. They don't realize the birthright of being born into the Garden of Eden, and then, going through the 4 stages of life's evolution: the spring, summer, autumn and winter of life, and they don't understand heavenly law or pursuit of spiritual mastery. So, in the fall of the spirit, as it is termed, and the descent of life in reality into external planes of matter, was necessary and undertaken to gain knowledge and experience, and through knowledge attain unto perfect wisdom by partaking of the tree of life, and thus round out the latent but positive individuality upon this plane, the identity in the interior state that will then enable it to say, Ani Yahava, I am that I am. As it is above, so it is below, and that which is below is like unto which that is above. Or, in other words, this vast sea-level earth plane, the scene of all our physical pains and joys, is but the prototype of heaven. It was thus in the very dawn of God's creation, and will be the same when our present system is disintegrated and lost within the unborn systems yet to be. Now, there are some obvious fallacies here, like this one, right? And there are some other fallacies here too, right? This idea that upon death, anything will be revealed to you is not true. You gotta get busy now. So you have to be careful even when going through that which is recorded as the Ansairetic Arcanum, that there may be some intentional blinds in there, that these obvious inconsistencies are put there so that you so why? The big question is why? Because this is human opinion, right? This is human opinion. It's not something that's tangibly verifiable through spiritual practice necessarily. Some of these other things need to be tested as well, right? The idea that knowledge and experience and achieving unto perfect wisdom, right? This is the propensity that we look for. Though lost to us, they are not beyond the kin of the deific mind that propelled them into being. There you go. They form the harmonious portions of other states and centers and obey the same immutable laws as we obey now. When once the fiat deity is sent forth, it continues through all ages. So these are important aspects of the mystery to understand, right? So how do we boil it all down, right? In addressing the second great deception. That's what we need to examine, or at least that's what I need to examine in my presentation of it. How do we get at the upshot, the value of the thing, as it were? Well, number one, we've got the first great deception, which is the idea, the first great dichotomy of materialism versus spiritualism. That were you born into the world on the level of simply a primate, a monkey man that rised up out of the protoplasm, and has there been great macro evolution over what they say hundreds of millions of years, from that of hanging out in the dirt in a diaper and banging two stones together to what we see now. Will a bear, like Darwin said, if it hangs out in the water long enough, will its mouth continue to get bigger, and will it ultimately become a whale, right? Darwin's essential theory of survival of the fittest, or this theory of evolution, is that, yeah, that could happen. That over a long enough timeline, a grizzly bear can evolve into a sperm whale. That's the vast transformation of beings. And this against the idea that there's an intrinsic God particle that is commanding things into manifestation and has a blueprint of the human being, and that blueprint doesn't, there might be micro evolution or micro changes over hundreds of millions of years, but basically the human being of today looks akin to the creator because we're created in the image of the creator. So there is some preformed spiritual force that enjoys this form of being, this quintet of 2 arms, 2 legs, and a head, right? This 5-pointed star, like the pentagram, and that this is somehow a superior expression in not only this realm, but in the realms beyond. Now, many of the angelic forces will take a 7-point expression, right? Because there are 2 angelic wings, and then the 2 arms and 2 legs. And so we see the 6 plus the head, which makes a 7, right? And then there are dual winged creatures that would make a 9. And then if you add a tail, right? If you've got dual wings on the back, 2 arms, 2 legs, and then a tail, then you have the perfect 10. So somehow this might be a higher expression. And then complexity doesn't necessarily mean that it's better, though, because through a process of simplification, we've arrived at these very intrinsic numerological formations, right? We are one, and being one, we divide into 2, man and woman, and being 2, we redivide into 3, right? The supernal triad, the father Dagon, the mother Hydra, Dagon and Astaroth, and then Cthulhu. And the divine child is a recreation. And then we have an entire family, which gives us the octahedron, the mother and father, the eldest daughter and son, the middle daughter and son, and then the youngest daughter and son. And this gives us the expression of the 8 immortals. And then we have this familial foundation on which all of humanity rests, and that we are a part of the celestial family. And so this as above, so below, we're the reason we formulate ourselves into these mammalian familial hierarchies is because that's what's happening above as well. And that we have a spiritual family in the celestial realm, in the timeless homeland. But again, don't just believe it. You got to know it. Carpe diem, reach for the stars, aspirant. Use the method of reflective meditation, where imagine your body like a mason jar filled with water, half water and half soil. And in an agitated state, you can't see anything. There's no clarity because you're just shaking the mason jar, right? Over and over and over, and it stays muddied. You have to set the mason jar down and allow all of that obfuscation of truth to settle. You have to let the skepticism of the mind settle. You have to let the intellectualizing of everything settle. And you have to let your spiritual intuition see through. But it takes time, It takes a long time of letting the mud settle before you can arrive at clarity. And absolute clarity can take a lifetime of striving. And again, I take you back to the old axiom. It could take you 30 seconds, it could take you 30 years, or it could take you 30 lifetimes. But it's up to you, aspirant, how long it's going to take. When will you quit agitating the body, mind, and spirit with all of this complexity and diverse seeking in endless directions? And will you be turning your back on it to the end of your days? I hope not. Find that divine high priestess that can reflect for you, or you could do it alone, right? That's always one path. The solitary practitioner. There's something to be said for that path. But most are not able to do it that way because of the carnal primal desires that they have to fulfill in life. And those shouldn't be abandoned. What a lot of people don't realize is that Buddhism arose as a solution for people who had failed at life, right? They had failed in marriage. They had failed in business. They had failed in every endeavor of the ordinary prime material plane. And thus, they sought salvation and release from what they considered to be great suffering. Suffering of the physical body, suffering of mental anguish, suffering of spiritual demonic possession. And so if you're a failure, then, you could seek out a Buddhist path of renunciation and asceticism. But for the ordinary individual who's done well in life, is successful in disciplining their physical body, is successful in educating their mind, and is successful in spiritual cultivation, I think that Taoism is a better method for you, right? We like to say that was Zen and this is Tao, right? Just like that was then and this is now. That there was a hurt child aspect to like the free love movement and indulging all of the drugs and free sex and music. And they had a lot of hardship coming out of World War II and the Vietnam War and the Korean conflict. And a lot of their, brothers and sisters or children or parents were murdered in war. And we've arrived at a position where we don't have to repeat this pattern. We can learn from the past. And we don't even have to learn from the ancient past. We can learn from the immediate past. Thus, following the path of Tao, right? And abandoning this idea of suffering and always wearing the victim badge, as they say. Get rid of that, Pull yourself up by your bootstraps and realize that each and every day is an absolute treasure to engage in spiritual cultivation. If you arise with the idea that today I choose to express only the highest divine positivity through my spirit. I am truly grateful for everything that I have, and I am absolutely capable of achieving the great work. And as a result, I enthusiastically embrace those challenges as opportunities for growth. And I am willing to take action towards my goals every day. All right. And one of those actions may be doing the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram to ward off evil and to engage in conversation and communication with your holy divine guardian angel, right? As the old axiom goes, invoke often, inflame yourself with prayer. And I'll leave the message here for today, aspirants. As your Grand Wizard, Esoteric Order of Dagon, Eastern Star Division of the Grand Orient, I ask you to hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Check me out on the coffee page and consider a one-time coffee donation. You can join the Discord. That's available and open to everyone. Learn to cultivate the Jing, Qi, and Shen that are the three treasures of your three Dantian bridge points leading to longevity, prosperity, and spiritual fertility. Remember, O aspirant, those who know do not speak, and those who speak probably do not know. And I will leave it there for today. This has been an exploration of the Hermetic Brotherhood of Luxor, the Ansairetic Arcanum, the mysteries of sex in relation to the occult. Until next time, Wayfarer, keep doing good magic ad astra per asperum.